Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the messages do resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Keeping in mind that there may be some triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, and also knowing that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. I'm truly honored to be able to share this with you today, and for those of you that choose to spend this time with me, it really does warm my heart and makes me feel so blessed to have you here. So with that, today's reading will be what is something unique about you? And I really felt called to using the Cosmic Reading cards by Nari Anastasia. And it's been a while since I brought these out, so we'll go ahead and get into that. But let's get to your prayer first. I feel like today I want to pray to Mother Gaia. She's been all over today. So we're going to ask Source to help us connect with Mother Gaia today. Because I feel like grounding ourselves is very important at this time. Without grounding, how can we truly see our value and our worth? We'll always look to others to see it for us. My beloved Source, my beloved Mother Gaia, today I ask that you help us build roots that are powerful and strong and deep into this physical world. Mother Gaia, as you support us with your life, your love, your nurturance, holding us within your bosom, keeping us safe, keeping us nurtured and protected, reminding us that all we need do is step out into the beauty of nature to remember your love. You are never far. You're just outside the door. You're just outside our window. That sometimes we get in such a huge hurry to become something or someone that we might not be or feel like we can be in this moment. And you are this magnificent reminder that there's no rush to anything. That some of the greatest beauty in the world has taken millennia. And that we are no different. That some of our greatest beauty that we will experience in this realm can and will take many years. But that's what makes it so valuable. That's what makes it so rich and profound. That's what makes us appreciate it so much more. So today I ask that you help us take one small step. Not in a rush, not trying to get to some end goal, but rather to come into this space of intention and presence and knowing that the small step that we take today is the seed of the oak that we plant, that maybe one day in our lives we will see grow into not only a mighty oak tree, but an incredible oak forest. I ask that you help us slow down our hearts, slow down our minds, slow down our journey so that we can truly embrace this nurturing love that you are ready to give us at any and all moments. As these words are spoken, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved Source and beloved Mother Gaia. All right, let me get that set up over here. Okay. Let's give this a quick shuffle. What is something unique about you, my fellow humans? What is something unique about you? Source, today, what Cosmic Soul Oracle card will help us better understand this message. What is something unique about my fellow humans? What is something unique about you? Okay, thank you. What is something unique about you? Pile number 1. What is something unique about you? Source, what Cosmic Soul Oracle card will help us better understand? Thank you. Pile number 2. What is unique about you? What is something unique about you? Pile number 2. That's the one. Thank you. All right, pile number 3. What is something unique about you? What Cosmic Soul Oracle card will help us better understand? What is something unique about you? Okay, thank you. All right, collective energy. What is something unique about the collective as a whole? We have be fearless on the bottom. Number 3. How you fearlessly create life and your reality. And even though for you it might not feel that way, right? For some of you it might be like, I'm so scared to put myself out there, but you still do. That's what it means to be fearless. It's not that you're without fear. It means that you'd have the courage to face that fear and still approach life and be vulnerable and open with whatever it is that you're trying to create in this realm. That you're setting an example for many here and being a beacon of light. You're also helping them to embrace this courage about themselves. You are a light to everyone that you meet. You are a light. You're a hope. Maybe for some that have experienced true hopelessness and they've had the blessing of connecting with you along the journey. And something unique about you is that you inspire hope just by being you, by being the beautiful soul that you are, and not holding back or trying to wear a mask. You let your authentic light shine, and that authenticity is what gives others their own inspiration and motivation to want to be like that. Not to be you, but to be like you. And that's such a compliment, right? It's like they're not trying to emulate you, but they're trying to learn from you. And that's something that is unique about you. So let's see what this says from the book. Be fearless. Do you really want to look back on your life and see how wonderful it could have been had you not been afraid to live it? And that's from Carolyn Miss, who has some very incredible decks that you could check out if you're interested in. It says, has fear been holding you back from pursuing your dreams and following your heart? Do you hold a fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of change, fear of making a mistake, fear of what society may think, fear of life and death? The fear of failing can be immobilizing, and many wonderful opportunities are missed because of it. It serves only as a wall stopping you from living a joyous life. When you hide behind that wall of fear, you not only slow down the process of transformation and growth, but you also attract what you most fear. For example, if you have a fear of not being worthy, you'll find yourself in situations and circumstances that validate those fears. Building those walls of fear does not protect you from the unknown. It keeps you imprisoned within a cycle of changes and challenges. These challenges may come in different disguises, but ultimately they hold the same energy. To transcend this repetitious will is to shine light on and face those inner fears. This is not a battle, but an act of pure love and compassion. Go within yourself and find out from where these fears stem. Fears are usually born from something you've seen, heard, or experienced personally. Send this shade within you love, understanding, and compassion. You are stronger than you realize. Take that next step and live your life fearlessly. The prayer here is, Great Spirit, give me the strength to embrace the fears within me with love, compassion, and light. And this is associated with both the root and the sacral chakra. So that's the thing. It's like, even though you have those fears, you're approaching them with courage And that's something that's unique about you that people are also inspired by because you choose to do that. What a feat. How incredible, like truly. All right, let me get these set up. Actually, I think I'm going to turn on the light. Okay, so for pile number 1, we have this dice with the sun emoji on it. Or we have this moonstone for you to choose from. Pile number 2, we have this dice with Mars on it. Or we have this piece of lapis lazuli. And pile number 3, we have this dice with the north node on it. Or we have this piece of amethyst. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever pile you felt called to, that should be the one for you. And I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the sun on it, or perhaps you were called to this moonstone, or perhaps you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on what is something unique about you. We're all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel, so if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Also, there may be triggering statements that do arise. There's no obligation to force it to fit, but also keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing. I'm truly honored to be here giving you this reading and sharing this with you. And for those of you that choose to be here today, just know that I'm honored and blessed to have you along the way. So let's hop to it and find out what is something unique about you, pile 1. Source, what would you like to share with us today? What is something that is unique about you, pile 1? So we have 11th house. We have Aquarius energy, and we have Venus. You're the friend of the friend of the friend of the friend. You are a networker. And that could be with people you know face to face, people you see online. Like, you're not afraid to reach out to people. If you feel like you're going to get along with somebody, you're probably going to reach out to them. You're really loyal. It's like the minute that someone's your friend, you're usually a friend with that person for life or for a long time. Like, it's rare for people to leave your circle, especially when you really invite them into it. And even if there's moments where maybe you're not in contact with one another for some time. Like you reach out, you still remember intimate, pertinent details like about this person's life. You will ask them questions about their lives. Like you'll remember what their kids were doing. You'll remember what their spouses were doing, what their parents were doing, what their siblings were doing, what their friends were doing, what they were doing. And you bring that with you everywhere you go. So it's like you are someone who really listens to people in a way that, people, it's rare. It's really rare that people listen like that. And it's rare that people are so involved in wanting to know about another person's life, because most of the time people are so adamant about talking about what they're going through that they don't really even care to hear about another person's life. But you're not like that. It wouldn't surprise me, Pile 1, if you had read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I believe that's a book by Andrew Carnegie. I'm not 100% sure if that's the author, but I think that is who the author is. There's that, the essence of that energy is coming in. And if you haven't, maybe you've read some other networking type book that was based on certain methods from that book as well. But it's just like really getting to know someone, asking a million questions about another person, and never really revealing too much about yourself until the person realizes, like, wow, I've only talked about myself. And I realize I don't know anything about Pile 1, and I would like to know something about Pile 1. And so then it really opens up the doorway for people to care about you in a really respectful way. And I feel like the people who know you, they feel really understood and heard, but they also feel really connected to you. While you might be practicing a really old habit of connecting with people, because of today's age, it feels very new and fresh, because everybody's so disconnected by social media and they've lost touch with one another. But you don't. You might send Christmas cards and birthday cards or holiday cards all the time. Like that might just be something that you do. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical cards. You could just send little stickers every holiday to people, or, just be like, hey, I'm reaching out because this is going on. But there's some sense of loyalty here where it's like, as soon as someone connects with you in this way, you're deeply loyal to them. And that's something that's very unique about you. What a beautiful energy. You're also really good at bringing groups of people together. So you might, what is it that they have on Facebook or on social media? They have like these options for group chats, or you might do group chats just in general on like if you have text messages or something. That's something that you do. You text everybody good morning in a group chat, and then you've connected people in a group chat. So I'm going to be using the Osho Zen Tarot today. We're going to see what is something unique about Pile 1. What is something unique about Pile 1? Okay, thank you. What is something unique about Pile 1? You're independent. You're also come off as really intense, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, clinging to the past and changes. I'm going through changes. Yeah. The Queen of Swords. Interesting. And Judgment on the bottom with Beyond Illusionment. I'm sorry, Illusionment. Yeah. Beyond Illusion. Yeah, something unique about you. Like, I feel like a lot of people are worried about what it is that they've said to you, but there's something that you say where you put their mind at ease. Or like maybe they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't reached out to you for a long time, and you're like, it's no big deal, like I get it, life happens, you're busy, things go awry or whatever, no beef on my back or whatever. You're just like, I'm cool with that. But I do feel like sometimes when people are caught up in their life and they can't reach out to you, they're really stuck worrying about how they showed up. But it's interesting because the 5 of Cups in the Tarot Marseille is actually the networker's card. That is the card of network. That's the card of connection. That's the card of building connections with people outside of the home. And so for the Five of Cups to show up with the Osho Zen cards here, even though the image depicts something else, it's very telling, because that's what I first got with the dice, is that you're the networker. You just bring a lot of luck and change to the people around you, because you choose to speak with your truth and you aren't afraid to communicate with people. You're not afraid to even set boundaries. But I feel like with the Queen of Swords here, it's like she doesn't talk a lot about herself, right? It's not like the Queen of Cups, where the Queen of Cups will talk about herself and she'll share her experiences. The Queen of Swords is someone who observes and is constantly in a state of observation of what's going on around her, so that she can make decisions based on the information that she's receiving. And so that's what it feels like here. And even though it feels like in this card her hands are tied, it's almost as if this is a self-inflicted containment or self-inflicted detainment. That's the word. You're self-inflicted this detainment so that you can choose to observe how people are going to show up. And I feel like something that's unique about you, Pile 1, is that you're not really judgmental of other people, but you do make decisions according to how people show up in your life. So if people show up from a really crazy, chaotic type of energy, you will pull back. But you're not going to sit here and try to add the drama or cause any arguments or create dissonance because of that. You're just stepping away from it. And that makes you very peaceful energy to approach. And that's why I feel like when people connect with you, they really do like connecting with you. They're really thankful that they connect with you. But I also feel that there's a point where you are, like, if you have a long time friendship with someone and this friend of yours disappears for months at a time and they only send, hey, what's up? And then you're like, hey, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. Like, how are things with you? And they spill all their stuff on you. And then they don't ask anything about you. They disappear after they spilled all their stuff on you. They disappear for another, month or two. They come back. The same thing happens. Like, I feel like you're very much in this place where it's not that you ghost them. It's just that when they're gone, you let them stay gone, even though they're trying to come back. It's not even about ghosting them anymore. It's just, I can't take on all your crap. I'm not just an emotional dumping ground for you. You have this aura about you where it's like, I'm here for this equal give and take. And if you don't show up in that equal give and take, the consequence is that I remove myself, or when you remove yourself, I let you stay gone. That's it. I'm not going to open up that door again. And I feel like that really weighs on some people's hearts, because they didn't realize how much they appreciated your friendship until you were gone. It's like, even though you were always there, you always responded, you never left people on red, like you were always there. But there's some energy here where people tried to take advantage of that and just use you as an emotional dumping ground. And that's why you're in this Queen of Swords energy, is because you are constantly observing what's happening. You don't let people get away with trying to hurt you or use you or disrespect you. You do set clear boundaries. Everything you do it from a place of reasoning, logic, and a sense of well-being for yourself. And so you never come across as crude or rude or abrasive. You're received. Everything that you say is actually received. And your silence is even received, because it's like when you're in silence, people know they messed up. Like, you don't have to tell them they messed up. They know they messed up. They know that they could have, been a better friend to you. And that your loyalty is something that's really rare. It's not something that comes around. It's a once in a lifetime type of friendship. Yeah. Interesting. We have Chiron coming out here, hurt and heal. I feel like this was something that was hard for you to get used to. Because you did have this expectation of, if I'm going to show up and be 100% loyal, I expect others to show up and be loyal. But through trial and error and people doing what people do, you had to let go of that expectation of others. And that's what helped bring you into this state of observation. And it was like, I can't hold people up to my expectations because they're either going to or they're not going to. But instead of being hurt every time someone doesn't, I'm just going to draw away. And that's how I protect myself. And it's not, again, it's not a bad thing and it's not a selfish thing. It's just a truth that you've realized along the way. And this is something that leaves others in this hurt, and they're healing from it by taking accountability for their own actions. But it wouldn't have happened if they hadn't have shown up the way that they did with you. So there's something unique about your energy that forces people to heal themselves and to take accountability for their emotional well-being, their emotional outbursts, how they show up emotionally. Mercury, I cannot make this up. We have think, learn, network, communicate. So networking is a huge thing here. Something unique about you. It's how you network. That's what's so unique about it. It's how you connect with people, how you help people be seen, be heard, understood. Peregrine Falcon, we have seize the moment in life and love or lose it forever. Yes, this is such a confirmation as to what I was feeling. Like, you'll always show up from this state of love. But it's like, if people are trying to take advantage of you, or they're trying to use you so that they can dump their emotional garbage on you, you very quickly just bow out in a very graceful way. No words need to be said. No putting people down. None of that. It's, you either are here in the present moment with me in a state of love, enjoying this as it is, or you lose me. And it's not even about cutting people off. It's like, you, again, it feels like you just let people stay gone. You're not cutting them off because they cut themselves off. I feel like you haven't had to cut a lot of people off, like actually physically telling them, like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore because this isn't working out for me. I do feel like you've had to do that, but it's not for as many people who just drop the ball when it comes to your connection. That's far more than you having gone out of your way and said, I can't do this anymore. And you've learned that sometimes it's just easier to let people be who they're going to be, and you be who you're going to be. And that means that your paths don't converge. Yeah, ancestors with generations. This is something that your ancestors struggled with. And so I feel like your ancestors are absolutely helping you to let go of this pattern that has woven its way around many generations in your family, where your, like, either your mom and your grandma, or your dad and your grandfather, it could have been your dad and your grandma, your mom and your grandpa, so on and so forth, right? What I'm saying is that they gave everything of themselves just to get that breadcrumb from someone. And then when that breadcrumb came, they still gave and they still gave. But for you, when a breadcrumb comes, you give a breadcrumb in return. And it's not vicious. It's just, I'm not going to waste my energy in hopes that you're going to understand and see my value. Because you obviously do see my value, but you want to take advantage of it. And rather than create tension where there really doesn't need to be tension, you just step away. Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. And that's the other thing, like, you're a very patient person too. Like, being able to handle that without blowing a lid is incredible patience. It's like the patience of a saint, let me tell you, because not everybody's able to do that. There's a lot of people who, when they get that type of energy, they also get angry and they let their anger run them. But that's not you. It doesn't mean that you're not hurt. It doesn't mean that you're not angry about it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't sting. What it means is that you recognize that I have to face my own feelings while also allowing myself space to respect myself fully. Yeah, cow spirit, miracles are endless. And I do feel like Source is bringing you closer to soul family. Like, I feel like you're getting more connected with the people who are going to be forever friends in your life. Okay, I'm going to get one of these. What's something unique about you, pile one? Pain. Yeah, this is something unique. And this is what is hard to see, because it's like you've suffered a lot at the hands of other people, at the whims of other people, especially with Chiron and pain. You have gone through a lot of betrayals and a lot of upsets. So it's like, if anybody had the right to be jaded, pile one, it would be you. And what's unique about you is that you have somehow miraculously let it roll off your back and stepped into a state of acceptance and forgiveness in a way that is very rare. Is very rare. And you did that yourself. Yeah, ideation. The inspiration that you receive is unmatched. And that's inspiration in all facets of your life. Whether that's creation, forgiveness, understanding, understanding, divine messages, like, it is unmatched because you've stepped into this state of forgiveness. Forgiveness is hard. It's not easy. And a lot of people, they don't want to come into a state of forgiveness because of holding on feels better, right? It's like, I'm doing something by holding on. But you learned along the way that holding on was only hurting you. And you freed yourself. We have the bird of paradise. Display yourself to advantage. This is no time for false modesty. Yeah. That's the thing. You stand out because of this. Because of this energy, you stand out. You are absolutely noticed. And, you know, not taking it so personal when somebody doesn't show up in a state of kindness or in a state of loyalty, because that makes it easier for you. When they're not in that energy, you recognize, this is not a person for me. Yeah, release. So you've learned how to easily release. Like, you're not tied to the past. Which now makes sense as to why the 5 of Cups came out from this deck with clinging to the past, right? You're not stuck in the past. Like, maybe there was a time when you were reliving past moments over and over again, but you don't do that anymore. Yeah, you moved on into a place of happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. And that's what's really powerful here, is like, you've healed your heart, right? There's a lot of green coming out now, and you've healed your heart. And that was the miracle along the way. Miracles can happen with the cow spirit. You've healed your heart chakra. And that's something that's unique about you, is like, the more you heal your heart chakra, the more you see beyond illusion, and the more you're unaffected by the illusions that people try to throw at you or project on you. The more you go unbothered by the way that people show up. So before, your heart may have broke for what now for you seems like seemingly simple things, but at the time when your heart broke, it wasn't simple, right? It was massive. It was overwhelming. So yeah, butterfly spirit with transformation is beautiful with number 11. We have 1111, which is have faith, right? So you have stepped into this place of spiritual, it's almost like you're in a state of spiritual devotion. So you're devoted to your spiritual journey, which also puts you in a state of being self-devoted, which puts you in a state of spiritual growth. And that is something that's unique about you. And it's because of what you've experienced. The only thing, or the only one that has stood by your side through all of this, was yourself and source. And you lean into that now. And that's become a huge portion of your day-to-day interactions with people, as well as how you show up. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this one from the book. Limitless, number 20. Rising above the limitations. Oh my goodness, what a powerful message. Number 20. I almost opened up right to it. In fact, I opened up to 21 and then flipped to 19. So does that count? Okay, so we have, let me make sure the light's not shining on it. We have, don't conform to the beliefs of others. Live your own truth and share this with the world with love. Through this card, limiting beliefs and conformity are being addressed. It's so easy to get caught up in the material world with its illusionary, isn't that funny, beyond illusion, expectations, false sense of security, and living our lives in what society deems as a perfect societal bubbles. People get lost in the games and the falsity of their everyday monotonous existence. Living a life to the expectations of society is just as restricting as living a life in prison. There's only so much room you have available to move freely before the walls of the cell are felt. Did I say you set yourself free because you came into a state of forgiveness? Wow. You're being asked to reflect on your life and the walls that inhibit you. These walls are made up of limiting beliefs that prevent you from following your heart and reaching your dreams. Limiting beliefs that stem from childhood experiences and expectations, which keep you locked in an invisible cell. Dear one, do not let the limiting beliefs and expectations of yourself and others confine you. You were not born to be imprisoned. You were born to fly, to sing your tune, to dance your dance. You were born to truly live and experience this life in all its blazing glory. Reach for the stars and follow your dreams. You have the strength and the courage within you to break away from societal expectations and follow your own guidance and intuition. It is time to truly acknowledge the magnificent soul that you are and break free from the binds that have held you back. You will be amazed at your own power and motivation. And your affirmation is, I am ready to create a life of my own choosing. The associated chakras are the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, so the material world. When the material world once left you feeling broken and ragged, you're now finding strength and being rooted in the material world. And if you haven't, you might be drawn to listening to the prayer. I did the prayer a lot different today, and I was just really called to doing it in this specific way before I started. So if you get a chance, it's time-stamped in the description box. If you feel called to, check it out because it might bring additional messages and clarity to you as well. So this is what I see here for you today, pile one. What a beautiful reading. What a beautiful person you are. I hope you honor that and embrace that of yourself. So with this, if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little angel wing down below and write out your affirmation here, which is, I am ready to create a life of my own choosing. It's right there. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this here and get on out of here. I would like to take this moment though. Oh, well, if it resonated, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly profound message today. And until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Mars on it, or if you were called to this piece of lapis lazuli, or perhaps you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on what is something unique about you. We are all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things differently on this channel. So with that in mind, if the messages if it does resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. Keeping in mind that triggering statements may arise on the reading itself. There's no obligation to force it to fit. And also, triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. I'm truly honored to be here sharing this time with you today. And for those of you that choose to spend it with me, know that I'm blessed and grateful that you're here. So let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what is something unique about you, pile number two. So what would you like to share with us today? What is something unique about pile number two? Whoa. Okay, we've got the first house, South Node, and Scorpio. You're very mysterious. I feel like there's this energy where people feel like you are inspired by or affected by the past. Like, you carry your heart on your sleeve, but you also carry your wounds on your sleeve. And I feel like there's this energy where you're very unpredictable at times. Like the way you show up in the world, you are going to show up based on whoever you are that day. So that's okay. Like, that's not a bad thing, right? There's this energy where you are just very aware of your emotional well-being each and every day, and that's how you show up, is based on whatever's going on internally. It's not even a projection. It's just, this is who I am. Like, if I feel stoic, I'm going to be stoic today. If I feel excited, I'm going to be excited today. If I feel kind of melancholy, I'm going to be melancholy. Like, if I feel, at peace, I'm going to be very peaceful. And people feel like this is you wearing your past on your sleeve. But I feel like it's because of your past that you've learned to really embrace and accept all facets of who you are. If you're angry, you're going to be angry. Again, it's not about projecting on people. It's literally about dealing with the shadow self and allowing the shadow self to be present. And not be like, get out of here, you stupid shadow self. How dare you show up? You're making my whole life a whole crazy, muck, a mess, and this and that. You're like, hey, welcome to the party, shadow self. What you got for me today? And that really is unique, right? Because you're not trying to hide this part of yourself. You've come into a state of true acceptance. And that acceptance is what gives you this edge out in your day-to-day life. And while people may believe that it's because of what you've gone through in your past and that you're just wearing your past every day, it's not about that. It's actually your past has brought you to this place where you recognize that how I felt and what I experienced and how I chose to label that, or how I felt the right label was for that, is all perfectly okay. And I'm not going to deny myself this opportunity to experience and explore that about myself. And you've gone through a lot of different transformations in life. But the main thing that's coming out here is how much you really embrace the shadow, how much you're not afraid of the shadow. And that is a place where a lot of people have difficulty infiltrating because they're scared of what they're going to find. And for you, you're just kind of probing around like, hey, come on, darkness, what you gonna bring me today? I want to see what it is. Oh, and you have no problem talking to people about this stuff either. I feel like you definitely bring it up. You bring up, spirituality a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if you recognize what is creating dissonance in others' lives and you give them advice based on the shadow itself. And I feel like some people feel very exposed. Yeah, it's interesting. I split the deck, and in the middle we had the no thingness with the Pope energy here. And that's the thing, again, that this to me is that confirmation of representing the shadow. This is a black card. It's all black. And it's just representing the shadow in this moment. And I feel like that's really synchronistic to what we have coming through with your reading, because it's just showing that you're not afraid to commit to the spiritual journey with the Pope, right? Not afraid to commit to the spiritual journey of the shadow. And you really take that as, it's almost become a part of your routine, your life. You just thrive in the shadow. But again, the shadow doesn't make us bad people. I feel like some people are so afraid of the shadow, like, oh, it's negativity, it's stuff I don't want to deal with, it's stuff that should be better left buried. And you're like, no, let's dig it all up. Let's see what it is. What are those boxes that you put, the time capsules? That's what it is. You look at it like a time capsule. So you like dig up one of your shadow moments and you're like, oh, look at this time capsule. Look at this memory that came up. Oh, that's interesting. Like, it's like you're looking through a whole bunch of pictures and toys and trinkets that you left in a box a long time ago. It's just something that's intriguing for you. That's unique. It is. That's really unique. So what's something unique about you, pile one, or pile two, my apologies. What is something unique about you? Harmony with the 10 of Cups. You're also very healed and a very healing presence because of this. Yeah, you've had a lot of breakthroughs. This to me feels like a breakthrough. It's not even a breakdown. Like, this is like literally creating tension so that you can get to the other side of the chaos. But you're doing it for yourself. What's something unique about you? Yeah, so you can celebrate. Like, you're in this place of just celebrating. Like, anytime a shadow moment comes up, I feel like you're like, yes, I get to explore this part of myself today. Woo! And you treat it like it's the best cake or the best candy or the best moment of your life. And that's what makes it so unique, is because you're unbothered by the fear that has come with the shadow. Rather, it's something that's intriguing and mysterious and profound, and they're like, you know, like almost like Sherlock Holmes. You're taking your little magnifying glass and you're peeking in, like, I want to know the mysteries that lie within, and what is that gonna do for me? What does that mean for me? On the bottom, yeah, look at this with the Page of Wands with playfulness. It's like, I want to say it's a game because that's the energy that's coming through, but it's not, because you do take it very seriously, right? But it is a game in a sense because you like to play around with it. That's what I was saying. It's almost like a time capsule for you, where there's all these memories that are shrouded in pain and in misery and hurt and tears and anger and upset. And you're like looking in on it. And you're like, wow, I really went through that. That's interesting. But I'm so glad I'm safe now. And I'm so glad that we don't have to hold on to this anymore. But it's like looking at old memories through pictures, but it's the memories themselves that are flashing before your eyes, or flashing in your third eye. And for you, it's like going through an old stack of photos. And you're excited about it. You've forgotten about this stack of photos, and that's what makes it unique. You're very curious about it. And that curiosity itself is what creates almost this fun-like energy for your shadow work. If everybody approached shadow work from a curious mind, it would be so much less daunting. It would be exactly how you show up for it. It's just something I do. This is just who I am now, and I'm not afraid of the shadow, because the shadow provides me with so much. It's provided you with harmony. It's provided you with the ability to help others heal from the shadow. It's brought you so many breakthroughs and so many deeper connections with your higher self and with Source. And even though every time you crack open a time capsule of shadow self, because that's what we're going to call it right now, it might feel brand new and you might feel uncertain, but it's as soon as you start going through it, it's not necessarily the comfort, but it is, in a sense, the comfort of the experience comes back. You're like, oh, I've already done this like a million times. This is no big deal. This is not any different. Even if some of the memories or some of the shadow work that you go through seems a lot harsher than others, it's almost like you're very grateful for every experience that comes up that allows you an opportunity to release the past, to release the person you once were. And I feel like if people met you today from your past, they would see how vastly different you are. But there's a lot of people who didn't know you from your past self. And so when they see you, that's why they're saying, like, you live with your past on your sleeve, or you're very unpredictable because you seem to be all over the place. But it's not. That's just you accepting this very human experience that is so full of human emotions. And you're not trying to deny yourself anymore what you felt, because there was a time in your life where you had to put all of that into a box and basically run away from it because it wasn't allowed, whether that was from an outside source or whether that was an internal non-allowance. It was something that wasn't allowed. And now, because there's the freedom of allowing, you've come into this state of just being so very sure of yourself and so sure of the shadow journey itself. That's what's so unique about you. How cool. I love that. Pile number 2. What is something that's unique about you? Okay, on the bottom we have the 4th house with cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. Like, you digging into the past, into your ancestral wounds and generational curses, this is where you find home at. It's like, if I can be something different than what my ancestors were, or if I can experience something different than what maybe my mom and my dad or my grandparents or my caretakers experienced, then I'm doing something good. It means that I've stopped the cycles, and stopping the cycles, it feels like that's something that's highly important to you. It's stopping those cycles. And you've benefited from stopping cycles as well. And you've seen the outcome of actually leaving those cycles in the past. We have the superb fairy wren. What a cute bird. Infidelity is in the air. Okay, so this feels like that's the thing here. It's like you've dealt with the betrayals in the past. You could have dealt with someone being, someone who cheated on you. You could have dealt with someone who stepped out on you. Or this is something that your family also dealt with, is someone cheating on them and then accepting them back in. And I feel like you have come into the space of realizing, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve to let someone back in or forgive someone just because I have emotions for them. I deserve to treat myself with respect. And that's why I feel like that's the shadow for you coming through and saying, we're strong enough to live in the darkness. So we'll be strong enough to live without these disrespectful people. Yeah, and we have rainbow with blessings. That's what I feel like that energy is like. You've seen the outcome of walking away from these patterns, from these cycles, right? And I feel like it's also telling that infidelity came out because oftentimes if there's a couple and someone is unfaithful and the other person finds out about it and forgives that person that's unfaithful, it's unfortunate, but in a huge percentage of the time, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but I would say 95%. I'll give a little leniency here, but 95% of the time, the partner who cheated will continue to cheat because in their mind, they're saying, oh, well, they forgave me. So they'll let me keep coming back. They'll keep forgiving me and they'll keep doing it. So that's the cycle. That becomes the pattern. And a lot of times the partner that did forgive the initial instigator will continue to forgive until they reach a breaking point or they don't. And so I feel like for you, maybe that's something you experienced, is those cycles where you forgave and you let certain situations come back in. It doesn't have to be infidelity. It could be anything. But you forgave and you let it come back in. It happened again. You forgave, you let it come back in. It happened again. And it was like at one point you had to stop and say, this is enough. I can't do this anymore. Yeah, vulnerability. That's what you wear on your sleeve. It's not your past. It's not even really your heart. It's your vulnerability. And it's unusual. It's unusual to see someone wear vulnerability out in the open because everybody is trying to run away from it. They don't want to feel it, right? We have guilt flying out. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. And maybe that's something that you've let go of. But I do feel like there's sacral chakra healing here with guilt. But I also feel like you let go of the guilt of, well, but I really love this person, or this person really means a lot to me. There's a guilt that comes with that oftentimes when we have to choose ourselves over someone that's been around for a really long time in our lives or has been a placeholder in our lives for whatever length of time. You've had to let that go, and that has freed you up as well. Yeah, okay, so we have friendship. Right? I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So this could have been guilt of holding on to a friend that maybe wasn't a healthy relationship for you or kept you in a state of self-disrespect. And you had to let go of them. That could be the infidelity, or maybe it was a friend who cheated with your ex, and you were like, what the heck? Like, I thought we were friends. What's going on? And maybe you forgave them both and they both came back into your life and it just spiraled out of control. That's a really specific situation that's coming through. But we do have the stag spirit that flew out. This is actually the card, the image that's on the box and on the book. It says, take the lead. So you were always the one that was in charge here. Right? You were always the one that was in control. But what happened along the way is that you had to find stability in being the leader for yourself, not being the leader to get accepted by others, not being the leader to be, praised by others, but saying like, is this really serving me? And stepping into that leadership position allowed you to see things from a very clear point. And that's what sped things up. With number 2 here, life is speeding up. You saw the dualistic nature and you realized this is not something that I want. And so trusting yourself was something that was maybe very difficult for you in the past. And now that has turned into trusting the healing journey, but it's so much deeper than just healing. You really do go knocking on the darkness's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. But yours is like, knock, knock, knocking on darkness's door. Sorry, that made me laugh as that's what was coming through. But that's what you do. So it's really powerful, right? On the bottom, isolation. Yeah, you learned from your isolation, your periods of isolation. You learned by disconnecting yourself from everybody out there. That's why it took you for a loop. Wow, okay, this just splits. The split was at happiness, yeah, so that you could go and find your happiness. I don't know why the deck split like that, but it did. So your isolation is what brought you to your happiness. Again, sacral chakra healing, right? So again, that could be an ex, right? Could be an ex who cheated on you, but that has given you the courage to face the darkness. It's almost as if you look at it, well, I survived that. And if I survived that, I don't think that me facing myself can ever be as painful as surviving that. Because it's like you had your true trust within someone and they took advantage of it, right? In a really, really nasty way. Jupiter, yeah, grow and expand. And so now you're on this journey of growth, self-awareness, self-growth, conscious development. We have Atlantic Puffin, be independent, look to the future, and thrive. So now you're coming into the state of thriving because you're looking to the future. But for you, the future is about who you want to be, and you step in that. Like, I want to be a healed version of myself. I don't want to invite in these really shoddy ass relationships. Excuse me, I don't usually curse, but it came out way faster than I recognized. But you don't want to be in those difficult relationships anymore. You want to be in relationships that are equal give and take, and understanding that there'll always be difficulties because, we're coming with two humans together and there's different perspectives and viewpoints and opinions and whatever. But if we can't come at it like adults and be real with each other, it's not worth it. And that's what it feels like. Faith. And that's the other thing that's unique about you, is that you have faith that everything, even though it was very hard for you, even though you went through such difficulties, you still have faith that everything is going to work out okay. What a beautiful story. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Like, truly I am. But just seeing how strong you are and how you've stepped into your power and how you're not afraid of the shadow, like, that is what's so beautiful about it. And I hope that you celebrate that about yourself. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. Worlds within worlds. Yeah. This is that internal world. Like, you're going in. You dig deeper. If something outside is bothering you, you go in deeper. You look deeper. What's beneath the surface? What's going on with me? Wow. Let me see. What does this say? 36. Worlds within world. Peace comes within the souls of men when they realize their oneness with the universe. When they realize it is really everywhere. It is in each one of us. And that's a quote by Black Elk. So this card serves as a reminder to look within yourself for answers. First line, wow, it's wonderful that you're so open to the opinions of others, but be discerning. Use your inner knowledge to decipher and interpret what feels right for you. Many look for the source of all life outside themselves, but if you truly wish to connect to the greater pool of conscious love, look within. Inside you, the cosmic universe spans, with inner worlds and stars. Yes, inside you. You are master and creator of the worlds and galaxies within you. You are as that creator ultimately, or how you are as that creator ultimately affects the outer world that you are also a part of. See yourself as the greater body, and within you the cell that also needs to hold its vibration and healthy light. You, as a creative master, can affect your cells or worlds by your thoughts, actions, and words. Raising the healthy light of your cells raises your own vibrational light, thus raising the planetary light as a whole. If a cell in your body is imbalanced and sick, that sickness slowly starts to spread to the rest of your body. See the earth as a cell in the body of the universal energy. It is vital that the vibration of this earth is raised to positivity, to positively affect the greater universal body. You are a creative God of infinite power and light. The more you come to understand this truth, the more you will be amazed by the power you hold as an individual to manifest and bring about the peace and change. So your affirmation is, I am love, expanding and growing in power, clarity, and truth. And the chakras are heart, the third eye, and the crown. Yeah, so this is the heart healing, and it's come from the inspiration that you've received from the divine, and also by seeing through your third eye. And that has led you to healing with your shadow. What a very profound and synchronistic read. I'm truly glad that I was able to do this for you and to be able to connect with you in this way. This is what I see here for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little earth emoji down below and type out this affirmation. I am expanding and growing in power, clarity, and truth. It's right here. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. I would like to take this moment to thank your guide, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very, very deep and amazingly profound reading today. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the North Node on it, or if you were called to this piece of amethyst, or perhaps you were called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what is something unique about you. We're all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things completely differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Also, triggering statements might arise on the reading itself. There's no obligation to force it to fit. And triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So with that being said, let us go ahead and hop to it, and know that I'm truly honored to be here sharing this with you. And for those of you that choose to stick it out with me, I feel so blessed and honored to be able to give you this reading today. So what is something unique about you, pile number 3? What is something unique about you, pile number 3? Source, what would you like to share with us today? What is something unique about you, pile number 3? Okay, so we've got the 9th house. We have Saturn. And we have Aquarius energy. Something unique about you. You're creating something unique in regards to the spiritual journey. I also feel like this is the overcoming obstacles and barriers and blockages. So maybe you're creating some sort of program, or you're designing something that is going to help people with their spiritual journey. I know this is really specific, but I do have to say what's coming through. Also, for those of you that might not be creating something, I feel like what's unique about you is just your approach to your spiritual journey and the blockages that do come up. You are very different in your approach. It's like a breath of fresh air. Even if you don't share it, it's just you have found something that works very good for you in going through spiritual growth and expansion and stepping into abundance and gratitude. And even though there's been a lot of hard things that you've had to go through, that doesn't stop you from continuing your growth, continuing your journey. Like when most people, once life starts happening, as life inevitably does, right? Life is always going to keep lifing. Most people use that as a reason to not continue with their journey. But it's not like that for you. You recognize that no matter what hardships are going to come up, things are going to be difficult. I have the hiccups all of a sudden. And that I'm going to have to still continue on my journey. And you have found a way to do so in a very unorthodox way. So it's not linear, the way that you choose to approach your healing. So there are times when you're so full of energy and you charge full force ahead. And then there are other times when you have no energy. And so you come down to a crawl. And there's all kinds of different energies in between. And you've learned that when you go with the flow, things work out better for you. I also feel for you, pile one, there's been a huge issue with the father wound and overcoming that criticism that comes. And this is like critical criticism, stuff that was impacting you and making you feel completely imprisoned and not able to move beyond. So that could be money, that could be work, that could be life in general, not having status, not having structure, not having recognition, fortune and fame. Like all these things I feel are falling under the father wound right now, where you had a very critical father, or there was a Capricorn that was incredibly critical in your life. And you've had to face that part of yourself where you were maybe taking on that internal voice and being very critical with yourself. And you found a very unique way to face that voice inside. It's almost like I keep seeing the jester dancing around, and that's how you approach this critical voice. Where before, maybe that voice or even that person had so much power over you that you just kept getting knocked down, getting knocked down. But now you just are so graceful in the way that you dance around that voice, and you remind yourself constantly that it's not about this perfection. It's about continuing to expand in a way that works good for us. And that's what you focused on. And that's what makes it so unique, is because you're not letting the hardships get you down. So many people let hardships just deter them from their journey altogether. You know, and it's one thing to take a break, but it's a whole nother thing when you let that break becomes now your new routine. Like you never start back up again. And I don't feel like that's you. I feel like, I have to take a break, but I'm still going to get back onto it when I have the energy and when I feel more in alignment. What's something unique about you, pile number 3? Oh, I was going to shuffle, but I guess not. Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to go with it. Yeah, you get like right to it. You get right to it when you have the answer, when you have the inspiration. You're very clear about what you want in life. And I do feel like there was a sense, again, this is the King of Swords, and then the Master's an extra card in this deck. But I feel like there was, again, the father wound with these energies coming in here. There was a very controlling father wound, or a very controlling masculine energy in your life that left no room for error, left no room for growth even. It was almost as if from an early age you were expected to be the best of the best, and you've had to let go of identifying with perfectionism. And in turn of letting go of identifying with perfectionism, you've freed yourself up to going with the flow. And that's not easy to do, pile 3. What's something unique about pile number 3? Yeah, your creativity. What was I saying? You creatively show up for this voice that's inside, or even for this person. So maybe this is still a person that you have to deal with in your life. Like the way you show up and handle them is very unique. They don't even know how to approach you like they used to. It's like all their old tactics don't work anymore. Or if this is the emotional ego, all the emotional ego's old tactics no longer work. And instead of you getting tripped up, this emotional ego or this person are getting tripped up. And through that, you're growing and expanding. And every time you show up, you're mastering a part of yourself that otherwise was very constricting for you. And there's power here. Yeah, look at this. I love this. We have the King of Cups on the bottom with healing. You're healing yourself. This is this unique way of showing up in regards to this situation is what's helping you to heal. Source is giving you internal information, downloads all the time, that's helping you to heal your heart chakra. And where at one point in time you couldn't open your heart, you couldn't even let people in. I feel like it's like the thawing of the heart, right? Like whatever was once constricted is now releasing and relaxing within you. Whereas most people dealing with this type of energy, especially if this is someone that you dealt with from the time that you were a child, they would have turned into this energy. Right? It wouldn't have just been something that affected them. They would have eventually, it's like, well, if I can't beat them, I might as well join them. But for you, it was never about beating them. It was about freeing yourself from them. I just want to be free from this. I want to be free from this control. I want to be free from this constriction. I want to be free from this bondage. And that's what it is. It's like you went through that. You mastered how to show up with this controlling energy. And in mastering that, you've now freed yourself into this really nurturing energy. Very free, relaxed, loving, supportive energy rather than critical energy, critical criticism. That's what I keep hearing, critical criticism. And it might not have been the words that they said to you as much as it was the actions that they did. There could have been really physical, right? You could have gone through physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse with this person, verbal abuse as well. But I feel like the thing is this was a situation that ended up creating internal emotional abuse. And that's why you became very creative in the way that you approached that, because you recognized this was something that was now within you. And you have found a way to integrate that part of yourself into the whole, which has shed the light on it. And in shedding the light on it, it has given you a sense of wholeness that you never felt before. And in that wholeness, you're able to truly accept yourself as you are in a state of love and truth. And the emotions that you've been feeling were very overwhelming at some point in time. But what has happened is you've stepped away from this very harsh interactions with self or this harsh interactions with this person, and now stepping into a state of emotional intelligence where no matter how this internal voice is showing up or no matter how this person is showing up, you're always coming from a calm state. So even if they're trying to bait you, you never get baited because you have healed so much. You've let so much go and you don't take it personal anymore. You recognize that you had an opportunity to forgive is coming in, but also to change a cycle that may have been within the family dynamics for a long, long time. Like you might have heard of a grandfather who acted like this, a great-grandfather, a great-great-grandfather who acted like this. Like it might have been like, oh, well, my dad did this too, but he did it worse to you, so you're not getting it as bad as I got it, right? That's such a weird excuse for doing the things that you do. Right? Like, well, you're not going to ever get it as bad as I got it. So the acknowledgement that it's a terrible situation while at the same time never taking accountability for how they're showing up in that situation. I feel like that was something that was really difficult for you. And now you're taking accountability for how you're showing up. not for how these other people are showing up, but it's almost like at one point in time on your journey, you stood up and you said, the cycle stops with me. It will never continue past me. I don't care if I completely rewire the way I approach people, or I rewire the way that I approach myself, or if I literally just make a choice right now and I never ever do that. And I don't know how that's going to impact everything else, but that's what it feels like is coming through, and that's what makes it unique. Because if everyone else in your family had the strength to do that, you would have never dealt with what you dealt with. But they didn't. And that's why that's so unique. And it doesn't happen as often as you would think. Like when people decide that an abusive or a difficult or a traumatic situation ends with them, like the fact that they made that decision goes to show just how much more connected they were to themselves than their family before them. So this was something that was meant to end with you, and you never deserved what you went through, pile 3. That's not to say like, oh, well, you had to go through it in order to end it. No, it's just, it's this energy where you came in and you went through this trauma that altered the way you saw the world, and you never wanted to pass that on because you never wanted another person, and especially a person you loved, to experience what you went through. It doesn't mean that it was without its trials. It doesn't mean that it was without its toxic patterns or its cycles that came with it, even though you stopped one aspect of it. What it's showing, though, is that you choosing to stop this one part of the journey, and you have now creatively shown up in a way that has deepened your sense of self and deepened your sense of self-worth. And that has created more opportunities for you to heal the other patterns that may have arisen from this trauma, this experience, or the situation that you went through. That's not easy, and I hope that you celebrate that, pile 3, because that's a big deal. What's something unique about pile number 3? On the bottom, fire. Aries, Leo, Sag. We have confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. Yeah, you're very brave. Like, that's source coming in, confirming that right away. The courage it took to do this was world-moving courage that took to do this. This was not something that was just, oh, it's a simple choice, even though it might feel like a simple choice. And I know sometimes outside of the box, when people are in difficult situations like that, in any type of abuse, right? And I keep referring to abuse because that's what feels like this is. And abuse is not always just physical, right? Like the abuse is very different for a lot of different people. And we're realizing that now as a collective. But when people grow up in any type of abusive situation, people outside of that situation, the first thing is like, why didn't they just leave? Well, if you're a child and you're dependent on parents who are abusive, how do you leave? You have no choice, right? You have to endure. And they're saying, oh, well, if you had a spouse that was abusive, like, why did you stay? I feel like that's such a very ignorant way to approach it, because you're looking at it from a one-time situation. You have no idea what happened to get them so entangled together to that point where maybe it turned really bad, and maybe it was a one-time thing, or maybe it wasn't. It doesn't matter. But just to say they should just move on, they should just leave, that's very ignorant, because there's so much more involved in a situation like that. Especially here, it really does feel emotional more than anything, but we do have the sense of mental as well here with the King of Swords. And I feel like with this, it's like relearning how to parent yourself from a healthy aspect, rather than continuing to parent yourself from that vicious voice that was inside. That takes patience and time and support in a way that you've never received it before. And that's why I feel like there's that ignorance that's at play here, because I'm not saying you are. I'm saying that other people, maybe you'd heard that from other people. Well, you should just get over it. Or maybe you even heard that from this person. You should just get over it. It's in the past. Why are you bringing up old stuff? You know what? Because that old stuff is what shaped me. That old stuff is what continues to weigh on me. It continues to create barriers and blockages in my life. So of course I'm going to bring it up, because the only way to get through it is to bring it back up and to remind myself that I'm safe now and I don't have to continue to go through that. And I feel like even facing this person or this situation head on has shown you that you also do not have to put up with their antics. Like, you don't have to put up with their verbal attacks. You don't have to put up with their emotional attacks. You don't even have to put up with if it was physical or what have you. You don't have to put up with it anymore. And you have learned how to master yourself by choosing to stand up for yourself. And that's what's unique. Whoa, okay. So what was on the bottom of the deck fell off and Starling came out. So we're going to look at Starling real quick. We have find strength in social community and achieve your goals. Exactly. You found strength in a situation that you did not have strength in, especially surrounded by community that was around you your whole life. Your goal was to let go of a pattern, and you had to find a new community to help support you through that. What was on the bottom of the deck was blue-footed booby with cast aside injured pride and cherish the enduring. That's the thing. It's no longer about who's right or who's wrong. It's about finding what was right for you and moving towards that in a very graceful way. What's unique about you, pile number 3? Thank you, Source. And I'm so sorry you had to endure this. Like, it's so disheartening when we see people having to go through situations like this. But I do want you to know that regardless, you are still an incredible person. You have so much to offer, and you are so worthy and deserving of good things in your life. And if you haven't heard someone say that, I want to say that to you now, because you really are a beautiful soul, and this was not fair. It was an unfair situation that you had to experience, because life is unfair. Life is life, and we don't have any control over what situations we get into sometimes, and that's just an unfair situation that you had to experience. And rather than trying to find reason in it, just honoring the fact that it made you stronger. But the lesson arrived because of the circumstance, not the circumstance arrived because you needed the lesson. We shouldn't look at it that way, because that's kind of like, oh, well, saying obviously I did something wrong in a past life. Rather, just saying life is going to be life, and we gather information because of life. Not life gives us life because we need information. It's not that way. It's the opposite. Yeah, purification. And I feel like this is what you're doing. You're learning how to purify your heart, your soul, and let go of the hurt and the pain that came with a very difficult situation, which has not been easy. What's something unique about pile number 3, Source? Thank you. On the bottom, yep, I'm not surprised this relationships card came in. We have I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Connecting with soul tribe. That's something that you are meant to experience on this journey, is connecting with people who appreciate and value you as you are in this moment. Not people who take advantage of you, not people who try to hurt you, not people who betray you. You're going to be connecting with, at some point on your journey, people who truly appreciate you as the person you are. We have Turkey Spirit, give with gratitude and grace. I do feel like there's this sense, one second, I'm going to take a drink. While the train continues song. I do feel like there's this sense of where even though it was a very difficult situation, you're grateful for what you learned. You're grateful because the hardship brought you some type of wisdom that no one in your family had. And I feel like that's something that you are very present with. Like, I'm grateful that I have this wisdom. Like, I wish that everybody got it before me, but they didn't. And now I'm the one that holds this wisdom. I'm the one that holds this knowledge, and therefore the one that holds the power to make a change. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race with Turtle Spirit. And giving yourself grace. Like, there's still going to be backslide moments. That's okay, right? That's okay. But I feel like you're just letting things unfold. Again, going with the flow. It's like letting things unfold the way they're going to unfold. It's no longer trying to control it. You spent so much time in a controlling energy that It's like you might set goals for yourself, but as long as I get to my main 3 each day, or as long as I do what makes me feel good, right? You might not touch on all your goals all day, every day, but you do what makes you feel good, and you do the best that you can. And it's not about trying to control the environment. It's not about trying to control yourself. It's about letting yourself be who you are. We have isolation here that flew out. Yeah. I feel like with this energy, there was points where you had isolated because it was feeling like you didn't deserve to connect with people, or because it was feeling like you didn't deserve to go out and about. And what's unique is that you're learning how to connect, even if maybe you're connecting online or through social media or something like that, or through online groups and online chats or something. That's what it feels like. It does feel like there's still a sense of physical distance, but that doesn't make the emotional connection any less valuable. And I feel like you're learning how to do that. And for others, I do feel like maybe you're connecting with community groups in your area, where maybe you meet once a week and it's just been one place that you go that you really get fulfilled from. But the isolation period, it's over. We have hunger on the bottom. Yeah. Because there's this sense of being driven to be included, especially with the circle on this card. It's like, I want to feel like I belong. And the only way for you to feel like you belong has been for you finding people who are on a similar path as you, or who believe in something similar like what you do, or who maybe have gone through similar hardships like you have, and that's given you a sense of belonging. Saturn again, feeling restricted, experiencing struggle, learn hard work and patience. This has been a long, hard, arduous journey that you've been on. But you've gained so much knowledge. You have knowledge of the world around you that many people don't possess, because not many people have had to deal with the hardships that you have. Wow, I love that this came out for you. We have Phoenix. Creative change realizes your dreams. You've risen above like the Phoenix you are. You've completely been destroyed into ash, but from the ash you have risen new, and you're becoming so much more powerful because of that, and owning your power. And I feel like owning your power has been allowing you to really face some of the bullies in your life, whether that's an internal bully or an external bully. I feel like right now, like if you actually honored yourself over even just the last year, you've probably stood up for yourself in ways that you never imagined were possible. Yeah. A lot of orange and red here. Okay, we have radiance with summer solstice. You are becoming so powerful. You're letting your light shine. And you're not holding back anymore just because it makes people uncomfortable, or because people feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you want all the attention. But you're getting attention because you're letting yourself be authentic. It's not because you want it. I feel like most of you just kind of want to live your life in peace away from everyone else because of what you've been through. But it's almost that exact same situation that's creating such deep, profound inspiration for others that want to connect with you and learn from you. Self-esteem, exactly. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So you're coming into this place of having so much confidence, and that's something that's unique about you, is that your hardships have created an environment that forced you into being more courageous and having more self-esteem than somebody who's born with natural self-esteem. Self-esteem is and courage, that's something that we can develop over time, and there are people who have it naturally. But the thing is that you have so much of it because of the situations that you've gone through. It's forced you to look within and to honor yourself. And by honoring yourself, you realize, if I don't stand up and believe in myself, then no one out there is going to do that, because it seems like everybody in the 3D world has always had something either against you or has hurt you in some way, shape, or form, whether it was knowingly or unknowingly. But because of that pain, because of that struggle, it forced you into seeing your own internal radiance. And because you're honoring your internal radiance, it's bringing people to you like a magnet, and that's going to bring you closer to your soul family. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book for you. Emotions. Didn't I say that? Emotional intelligence. It feels mostly with emotions. What a synchronicity to come through here. Wow. Okay, number 12. emotions. It says, it is time to acknowledge and release suppressed emotional energy in a positive and constructive way. Emotions and feelings assist us in navigating our way through life. They are fundamental to determining the health of our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Many people suppress their emotions for fear of being consumed by them. Neglected, stored emotions create volcanic pressure within, which can be detrimental to one's energy and body. This card has come because the Spirit is encouraging you to allow your emotions to flow in a safe space. Express your emotions. If you are sad, cry. If you're angry, then be angry. Acknowledge and truly feel this process. Observe the emotions that are being released and ask yourself, from where do these reactions and emotions stem? Perhaps past memories and experiences are overlaying the current experience and increasing its emotional impact on you. It's so easy to overlook the tight grip these denied emotions have had on you until they are released. Channeling these emotions in a positive, constructive way rather than ignoring them allows you to free yourself of the emotional baggage within you. This act of releasing enables you to be present, to enjoy the magic and awe of your everyday miracles. It's easy and tempting to resist these unpleasant emotions, but the only way you will be free of this suppressed energy is to walk through the emotions. Writing down your feelings, releasing your emotions to nature, talking with someone you trust are just some of the many ways you can dispel this pent-up energy. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself during this process. Your prayer is, Great Spirit, please guide me through this process of cleansing and releasing with love. The associated chakra is a sacral chakra, which is why we got all this orange at the end, and solar plexus as well. So what a powerful message for you today. It's just showing that you have faced emotions that so many other people would have rather left buried. And that's because you're honoring yourself and honoring what you went through. So I'm going to leave this here, but if you did watch all 3 piles with me, leave a purple heart down below. It's for my Purple Heart Club, and just say I made it. I know what that means. And for you, pile 3, if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little heart with the bandages around it and say this great prayer. Give Great Spirit, please guide me through this process of cleansing and releasing with love. It's right here. Okay. I hope that that's focusing. I don't know. There we go. All right, so with that, if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take this time to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very deep, amazing reading. Here's a big, big, big energetic hug for you, pile number 3. You're an incredible, amazing person, and I hope that you remember and acknowledge this about yourself. Okay, with that being said, until next time, stay human. Bye.